Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help, so thank you guys so much. And for today's video, I apologize for being late. Shift Up did drop the kit last night, but unfortunately with my university schedule right now, I am really busy, but I did make a YT post about it in the morning, so I hope you guys understand. But that being said, it's kind of interesting, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when we always do kit videos, like all the content creators, everybody has a different type of opinion. Like, it's almost the same, but there's a bit of a difference. Right now, it just seems like everybody is shitting on Delta. It's kind of crazy. And I have an idea of why, but I also just like to say that I feel like for me personally, I want to try to be that like cozy content creator in the Nikke space that's also just like a whale, but like a gooner, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I care about meta, but at the same time, I like to pull on everything. I don't care. I like to have fun. I want the good booba. So that's what I'm here for. So let's get this started. Let me scoot on over and let's put it on screen right here. We are at the Nikke motion demonstration for our lovely girl, Delta Ninja Thief, using the MG Ninja Force. She can change her actions if defender allies are close by. She boosts her allies' distributed damage attacks, and her burst skill improves their attack power as well as her own survivability. So first, I want to see how it looks because I'm going to be honest, 2D lobby-wise, probably one of my favorites in a long time. Looks really good. Love the outfit. I need to see the JPS. All right, baby. We got the JPS. Let's go. We got good JPS. That's all I wanted. Good JPS. No devil coat. Looking good. Looking good. That's what I like to see. Instant pull. I'm going for the copy. We're going to make it work, gentlemen. We'll make this work. This isn't going to be a situation where we give up because it's like, Sora, we can try to cook something. We can fix her. I can fix her. We got this. Trust me. Trust the process. Let me see the wallpaper, though. Let's see. What's the wallpaper looking like? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's probably going to be the wallpaper right there with the effects and everything. You see the moon crescent, too. Good booba. Looking great. You still see the tattoo. Looks nice. Honestly, probably a W wallpaper, but we are so close to the anniversary that I'm not even going to try it. I've given up on that. I've already told you. My mindset, I've changed. Just going to the standard with milk in the anniversary. I'll do a massive polling session and hope I get it there. That being said, though, I did want to talk about it real quick because I've already said it. I'm a little disappointed that they kind of botched my girl because out of all the SRs, Delta was definitely my favorite. And it's really a shame how they did her, especially as like a pre-bait Annie, which is unfortunate. But that being said, I feel like when we do kit discussions, realistically, it's a coin toss if it actually reflects to the gameplay or not. Because I remember that we looked at the RE characters and they looked great and they played okay. But then nobody used them in solo raid and now I have them maxed out. And I'm about to just reset them as soon as we get those resets from like the anniversary. And I'm probably going to put it all into Delta. I don't care. It's going to be my simp character. What can I say? I love her, so I'm going to try to make this work. Trust me. Trust the process. But we got to see what we have to try to fix. So let's get a good look at the kit. And let me just start off by saying that this is a burst 2 defender with a 40-second cooldown. Okay, a 40-second cooldown. What are we doing, Shift Up? What is this? In 2025, you do an alt like this with a 40-second cooldown? What are we doing here, man? Don't even get me started on the defender restriction. We're going to be talking about that later. That pisses me off because that's like horrible. But skill 1, Ninjutsu Acid Bomb. Activates when entering full burst and affects all enemies. Ninjutsu Acid Bomb increases damage taken by 12% for 15 seconds. And then what activates when using her burst skill affects self. Attack goes up around 15% for 10 seconds. Then what also happens on burst skill that affects enemies within attack range nearest to the crosshair. Ninjutsu Hyper Acid Bomb. Damage taken goes up 8% for 10 seconds. And that damage taken is really nice. Debuffers in this game do really well, so in that aspect I'm hopeful for. Honestly, with the attack part of her burst skill specifically, it's kind of worthless in my opinion because As a defender, they're not really going to do that much damage usually. But then there's characters like Cinderella, right? But that's a whole different story. But I don't know if it's going to do as much. The damage taken does seem nice. And what is kind of iffy though with the attack is that it is a 40-second, so it's going to be every other rotation. But if you're above the deficit and you're just going through normal levels, most of the time you just need one full burst to clear the waves anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. But then when we talk about bosses, that's a whole nother story. So look, I'm just trying to cope here. I'm just a gooner trying to make it work, alright? So cut me some slack. I'm trying my best here for us, okay? On to skill 2, Ninjutsu Camouflage. Activates at the start of the battle, and effects differ according to the squad formation. This is basically saying the effects that she's going to have is only going to be dependent on whether you have defender allies on your team or not. And it activates only to the corresponding effect. So this is what happens when there are no defender allies in the squad. Creates a shield equal to 12.25% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds, and then attraction happens, which is a taunt. And taunts are scary to me because taunts to me scream death, because one of the biggest problems with having taunt Nikkes is that they don't have survivability. And here's the thing, she would have survivability if this other effect was in this section, but it's not. She has healing in the section where if you have allies, you get those effects. And this is what I mean right here. Effect 1, if you have defender allies with you. Ninjutsu Camouflage. Prevents self from being the target of single target attacks for 10 seconds. And loses effect when the caster takes damage. Now this is that same exact camouflage system that Unwa has for her tactical upgrade. It's just a different name. And then her second effect, Ninjutsu Injection. Recovers 11.22% of the attack damage as HP continuously. That sounds great. That sounds like great survivability. I sure wish it was with the taunt though. Like, I don't get it. And then what also pisses me off about both of these is that they are both just for herself. Like, the Ninjutsu Injection, the healing one, I can maybe forgive because she does have healing somewhere else. Like, having a shield just for yourself and not team-wide is so selfish, and it's kind of annoying because, like, this could have been great. So, kind of lost opportunity right there. And then what activates when performing 200 normal attacks and affects self while in attract status, creates a shield equal to 12.25% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds, and then affects self while in ninjutsu injection status every 4 seconds. Ninjutsu IFAK lasts for 4 seconds. Function: accumulates HP recovery during the activation duration, after which all allies are healed for the accumulated amount. And that's why I mentioned earlier that there is a different type of healing that won't really be affected by her injection just being for herself. But at the same time though, the maximum accumulated amount is equal to 165% of the caster's final attack. And defenders, like I mentioned, aren't really a great attacker, so that might be a little bit iffy. We're really gonna have to see, honestly. And then once the duration ends, all allies are healed for the accumulated recovery amount, which sounds great, but it's such a shame that there are these weird restrictions, because I need to talk about defenders real quick, okay? We go over to loot and waifus. This is Sephi's tier list. Shout out to my boy. And we sort by defenders. This is PvE only, by the way, okay? I'm not talking about PvP. I could care less. We're talking about defenders right now. We got top dogs, and then we got some questionable spots that are really meant for like a certain team. And then it's just kind of trash down here. So it's kind of rough to figure out where we're going to place Delta. Definitely going to need to cook up something with testing. But with that damage taking debuff, I am interested to see if we can make something work with Kraken in Anomaly, just because we can put her with Crown, right? As like an off B2. So I'm thinking maybe that could be something. Maybe swap out Helm and C. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing and trying to make this work in my head, but I'm trying my best here. And then lastly, we end off with her burst. Secret technique, Ninja Overdrive. Affects all enemies. Distributed damage goes up 20% for 10 seconds. And attack goes up 15% of the caster's attack for 10 seconds. Affects all enemies. Deals 170% of the final attack as distributed damage. And then affects self while in attract status. So this would be if you didn't have any defenders. Your next shield's HP goes up 20.13% for 10 seconds. But if you do have defenders and you're in ninjutsu injection, maximum accumulation of ninjutsu IFAK goes up 20.13% for 10 seconds. The distributed damage does sound nice, but I think if I remember correctly, I might be wrong about this, Crust might be doing a little bit more. But here's the thing, with her skill 1, with this damage taken debuff that she provides to enemies, I'm really hopeful this can actually mean something for her. And honestly, when it comes to attack or anything involving the healing, we're really going to just have to wait and see in game. And I'm going to be honest, when we do this, once again, you know, like, it's a 50-50 if this kid is going to translate to our words or not, or if it's going to be the opposite. We'll have to see. Honestly, for most people, they're not going to be pulling for this, and I understand why the anniversary is too close, but at the same time, I'm going for my girl. I'm going for the booba, the assets. I'm a gooner at the end of the day. But with all that out the way, do let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think I'm coping? Do you think we can actually do something to make this work? Do let me know. Are you excited? Remember to do everything before maintenance happens. Hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.